In this particular video, I'm going to demonstrate another example of answering the question of what exactly can I utilize AI for as far as real-world use cases in my business. When I'm talking to potential clients with regards towards businesses and AI, that's the number one question that they ask, right? And it's like the number one question I see across the media, etc. Like, okay, outside of the scientific aspects, like outside of the cool technical aspects, like what is the real world use case? Like, how do I make money utilizing AI? That's the bottom line question, right? Every business wants to answer this question. It's like the golden question for most business owners. And then for some reason, everyone, like, they just go to chatbots because of ChatGPT, right? They're like, okay, AI is only chatbots. And then they can't figure out how to make money in that equation. And that's why you can't figure out how to make money in that equation, because AI is not just chatbots, right? Once you step outside of that equation and understand exactly how AI actually works, it's very easy to make money via AI, not like utilizing AI and to save your business operations huge amounts of money via AI. That's kind of the bottom line here, right? So what I'm going to demonstrate for you in this particular notebook for like an enterprise organization or even like an SMB organization, this is going to this could replace your CRM expenses, a lot of your ERP expenses, a lot of your business intelligence expenses, maybe like a few payrolls, except like all of this is a system designed to how do you make more money? That is the number one question that we're answering within this particular notebook, right? So number one, we need to start off with a question, and a very clear question, just like you would if this were like if I explain the concept of like OKRs to the typical business owner or like C-level executive, they would know exactly what I'm talking about, right? You need to set an L1 goal and then L2, L3 that support the L1 goal, and they trickle on up. It's the exact same process. Like, literally take the process that you already know and then just apply it to AI, right? So our L1 goal in this instance is that we want to drive conversions of our sales and our marketing department. That's L1. L2, we need to figure that out. And L3, we need to figure that out. So that's exactly what I'll demonstrate for you within this particular notebook, and we'll go through that exercise. And by the end of this, I think you'll have a much better understanding and idea of how exactly you can utilize AI within your organization to actually save your organization time, money, efficiency, etc. So this notebook demonstrates the power of an AI-driven sales and marketing optimization utilizing ant colony optimization, which is a swarm intelligence algorithm that I've created myself. It simulates an evolving marketing strategy where AI dynamically identifies high-value customer segments, optimizes sales outreach, and refines marketing strategies over multiple iterations. How this notebook works: one, it utilizes an ACO-based customer targeting, so ant colony optimization, which identifies the most promising customer segments. I'll dive into all of this for you. Two, it utilizes microsegmentation and persona development, so it uses AI to refine targeting within the top segments. Three, multi-channel A/B testing determines the most effective sales and marketing channels dynamically. Four, reinforcement learning optimization allows AI to adapt and refine strategies in real time. Five, automated lead nurturing and CRM integration enhances conversion rates through AI-driven automation. And six, ACO-based product recommendation and pricing maximizes revenue through intelligent product bundling and dynamic pricing. If you're a typical marketer, I would assume that out of these six, like four of these make complete sense to you, and then two are maybe kind of random, right? And then that's the beauty of this and how these frameworks work, right? Why they work and how exactly you should be looking at AI, right? Like, it's not separated from your existing processes. We're taking the existing marketing process that has existed for a long time, and as you can see, I'm interweaving AI into that process. I'm making what was a 4-step process now a 6-step process. Very simplistically, right? It's not two separate processes. I'm weaving it in there together. Within this, some of this is going to be hard coded, right? Because this, I can't stress this enough that this relies on data itself, and whatever this data is going to be the data for your organization. I don't have the data for your organization. If I did, I would be competing directly against you if I had access to that data and could utilize it in a way that I could utilize it competitively, right? Like your data in this instance is what matters more than anything else in this equation. Like you should recognize and know that up front. But so simulation methodology, graphs and networks, the sales environment is modeled as a graph where customer segments are nodes and marketing strategies are edges with evolving pheromone levels. So ant colony optimization utilizes sales agents as ants, which explore marketing strategies, reinforcing successful pathways with pheromone trails. Dynamic learning, AI refines strategies over multiple iterations, discarding ineffective paths and prioritizing high-performing marketing channels. And visualization, I provide lots of graphs and metrics which illustrate how AI optimizes conversion rates and customer engagement and revenue growth. I'll go into the code for you from here so you can see it, but kind of the bottom line as to how this algorithm works and what it's doing behind the scenes is, so I take the concept of ants flat out, right? Like an ant colony, and an ant colony is driven and controlled by a queen. So the ants are like the workers, they do whatever the queen does. And then so in this instance, the queen is the heart of this system, right? The queen is the brain. And then the queen iterates and then tells the workers what to do, like how to get better. And the queen is the one like driving that efficiency, the queen is driving the efficiency all through data, right? The queen is just processing data, running simulations on the data, and then trying to understand how do I maximize the data. And that like the queen is just ruthless with that goal. Like the queen has no other goal, right? And the workers can have independent goals that support the queen. So the queen is the L1 goal, and then the workers are L2, L3, L4, etc. And they're just driving up with ruthless efficiency up to L1 is basically how it works out, right? So then within this, we need to ask ourselves two fundamental business questions. So again, this is going to replace and could and should replace very expensive systems within modern organizations, which is, I really don't understand why businesses still ask these questions, but here we are. So question one, who are our best customers to target based on our data? This is like a question that every business wants to know, right? So then in this instance, I take your data and then based off of like no information, every single category would be the same. So enterprise, retail, tech startups, healthcare, finance, healthcare, retail, finance, tech startups and healthcare, and tech startups and finance. And then essentially I would take this data and then I assign them all initially just the same score, right? I don't know how these are going to pan out. I'm not like I don't have a crystal ball. I'm not an oracle. I just they're all ones to me to start off with, right? So they all start off as ones, but then I take your data and then I understand and I plug in let's say your last 6 months of sales metrics, and then this is your last 6 months of sales metrics, and then in this I'm just like, to me these are just numbers, I don't care. And then so I plug in the numbers of your last 6 months of sales metrics, which are different than one, and then they end up breaking out like this, and then I run simulations on your data. I tease out like all of the patterns within your data, just utilizing your real data in this instance, right, to figure out and then do like some iterations, evolutions of it. What are your top customers? And then so this is like a graph that pops out. And then so if this doesn't mean anything to you, what I can tell you very specifically for this simulated organization that we've just run this on, they need to target their finance customers. Every finance customer, whether it's enterprise finance, retail finance, or tech startups finance, those are their top three. And then everything else is lagging behind that. So they shouldn't target retail. They shouldn't target enterprise as a whole. They shouldn't target healthcare as a whole. They should be finance. This company should be all in on 100% on finance. That's their 20%, and then everything else is the 80% chaff. And then very simplistically, that organization can answer this question clearly. Like I can 100%, not a singular doubt in my mind that this organization needs to focus on finance and nothing else. And then so question two, which sales and marketing strategies lead to highest conversions over time? I don't know. I'm not a sales manager, right? So key observations. What I can do is I can essentially utilize and from this data, what exactly do I tease out of this data here? So first of all, I know that enterprise finance optimization, like enterprise finance is the best, right? It became the dominant strategy. Then I know that finance and retail also scored high, and then also too, the last category was for technical finance. So all three of the top scores are finance. So now I need to, question 2, develop the strategies. I know who to target now, so how to exactly do I target those segments, right? So I have my customer segments of SMBs, enterprise, retail, tech startups, healthcare, and finance. And then I want to essentially, again, I'm utilizing these simulated metrics. So I utilize the metrics that we took from that first question, and then I plug them in here. And then I run like different, essentially like sales strategies, right? So I define the different steps for the sales strategies. So like an ACO-based customer targeting strategy, micro-segmentation and persona development, multi-channel A/B testing, reinforcement learning optimization, automated lead nurturing and CRM integration, ACO-based product recommendation and pricing. And all of these could be like individual campaigns to individual segments, etc. Right? I have like complete flow and freedom and no other way imaginable or system that you could ever pay millions of dollars for a year to define all of these, right? It's defined literally to whatever your market segments are, whatever your customer segments are, whatever your campaigns are, and that's what you're driving to. And then literally plugging in your data, right? So imagine this algorithm is your company's algorithm, right? And then so that's the beauty of this as well, right? Like, so once you go through this exercise and then you go through this and you plug in all of this data and then you get the end results, if company B takes this, it's absolutely worthless to them because this is based off of your metrics, your history, and the patterns that are coming out for your business, right? Which is like that's the big part of this that like companies still don't they're caught in this mindset of they want a Microsoft or an Apple to come in and build them an app store that is going to suit every single one of their needs, which is not how this works, right? It's literally the personalization of AI is to a degree where it's down to the company level. So I'm not going to build an app for your company. Pay me to build it, right? That's what people don't understand within this equation. And that's why aren't seeing more iteration on these things as a whole, because first of all, it's most people aren't to this level of understanding with this knowledge, but then secondarily, again, like why I'm not going to just go out and randomly start building apps for random companies, right? I'll give you the tools and show you this and these things, but it's another level to like go out and just set money on fire for no reason, essentially. And so that's, I think anyone that follows those old strategies, that's exactly what they're doing, right? And then so within this, the end result, we run this simulation on this organization, and then what we see is that at the beginning of the simulation, their conversion rates suck. This organization was at like 5% conversion rate. They didn't know what they were doing. Their lead quality score was garbage. Their revenue growth was basically flat. And then we run this, and let's say this is a 10-month cycle, right? So we run it for 10 months. They start off at 5%. They end up at a 55% conversion rate. So essentially what we start doing is we refine exactly who their target is, who they should be targeting, and then the best message possible. So rather than just like this shotgun marketing blitz that they started off with 10 months ago, they're targeting 10 clients per month, 10 companies per month. They're doing exactly what I said. They're building the app for the individual company, and they're putting it on the app store, and then they're letting that company know. And that's their marketing strategy, and it's driven by this, right? So they're literally doing what I just laid down and poo-pooed on as their strategy, because they have enough data to be able to drill down to that level. And then by doing that, they can essentially go back and trace back all of their metrics and then go through and get a strategic breakdown like this, right? And then when the CEO says, is this working? How is it working? Well, yeah, our revenue growth in year month 1 was 2%, and then by months 9, 10, it's 52%. Mr. CEO says a very clear, or Mrs. CEO says a very clear indication as to how exactly our company is running in this this particular instance, as opposed to like a typical sales and marketing organization that I go into. It's like, Jim is our top sales rep, and we do have systems and processes in place. We have like multi-million-dollar systems and processes in place, but Jim is the exception, right? Jim's our number one sales guy, and Jim doesn't like processes and systems. So we have the Jim process, and the Jim process is that Jim makes sales and doesn't enter them into the CRM or the ERP. Everyone else does, right? But 80% of our revenue is derived from Jim. Like if Jim got hit by a bus, we'd be out of business tomorrow. And none of that's in a system because it's all in the Jim process, as opposed to this, right? And then you can see, Company A, and what I just described is horrifically description of a multitude of organizations from the back end. I see that from experience. And then so just highlighting this out, right? This is what you could be seeing, what you could be facing, and what some of your competitors are actually doing down to this level. And then so if you want to get down to this level, I'd be happy to show you and talk more. And if you like this type of content, please like, subscribe. Thank you very much.